What's up, guys? Welcome to Just a Tip Tuesday. Today I want to talk about getting the other party to negotiate against themselves. So I recently had a transaction where I represented the buyer, and the property that we were interested in was listed for $359,900. It had been listed for a while, and so our intention was to come in low and just see where we could get the seller at. Your first hurdle there, obviously, is getting any type of a counter at all from the seller when you come in low. And you'll see, because I'm going to put this text on the screen, but we did get a counter, and it was $350,000. Now, $350,000 is a good counter, but I know that I'm still too far apart, and so I don't want to be drawn into the haggle just yet. I want to try to get them to give me another number so that they're closer to us before I have to give another number. And you can see exactly what I said here. I think that's fair, and I appreciate the seller's willingness to work with us on this. I'm struggling to get there due to the layout of the kitchen and the main living space, which I see as the only conceivable reason it hasn't already sold at a higher price. It's a real challenge. I'm not sure we'd be comfortable there. And so what I needed to do with this text message is say no without saying no. I've got to decline that 350 because we can't get there, but I need to leave this negotiation open. And within that, you can see I start off, I said, I think that's fair. I love to use the F word in a negotiation because people have a desire to be fair, and I want them to see me as fair. And so I'm going to use the F word right out of the gate. Like, we're all being fair here, and we're just trying to create a fair deal. I appreciate the seller's willingness to work with us. I'm struggling to get there due to the layout in the kitchen, so I'm giving them a specific reason as to why I don't think that I can get to that price that they want us to pay for the property. But then right after I give them this specific problem with the property, I want to, give some type of a compliment to the property because at some point the seller saw some real value in this place, and I don't want to come out and just shit all over it because I don't want to offend him. I need him to work with us. And so I want to point out that I also see the same value that he saw. Now, you'll see in this next message I'm going to put on the screen, now they come back. He's ready to sell. What's the best you can do? Now, great message from the other agent because the other agent here is obviously avoiding trying to give me another number, and he's doing exactly what he should do. He's trying to get me to go ahead and give them a counter. However, I'm not going to fall into this trap, definitely not answering what's the best we could do, because technically the best we could do would have been the 359.9, and so that's kind of irrelevant what the best we can do is. I said, I don't think it's about the best we can do. Being honest, they're approved for more. I'm just concerned if they need to sell where we would be in at. They're young first-time home buyers. What do you realistically think the seller would do? And here, obviously, I'm kind of leaning and showing that I've got strong buyers, that it's not a matter of not being able to afford the property. It's just that we're trying to protect our interest in it. And then obviously I flip that back around and I say, it's not about the best we can do. It's really about what's the best that you can do. And in this last message, you can see we had victory because we got 342 back. And so the seller came down another $8,000 before we ever shot another number. And I think the big takeaway here is sometimes the best way to negotiate is to just kind of shut up and allow the other side to negotiate against themselves. Don't answer questions that you don't need to answer, and don't offend the seller. Get them to work with you. And that's your tip.